And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Okay, BKP. And good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It's 9 a.m. Here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to do a little bit of brief local news information, a little bit of brief local news in North Georgia. And then what we will do is go to about 9:20, go back to some national stuff that we want to talk about. The memo, Trump going to Davos, Trump testifying to Mueller under oath, you name it, we'll go to it at about 9:20. All right, so can you do me a favor in there and send Natalie a text in Fannin County, our reporter in Fannin County, and send Natalie a text and ask her if this guy is a board member, who exactly he is. She'll understand what you're saying, that Brian wants to know if this guy that she just texted me the name is a board member. She'll understand. Get that to Natalie for me, please. Okay, now the Blue Ridge City Council is having a special called meeting today. And there's a first reading here that's on here. And I'm going to say something, okay? I have been asked, now this is Blue Ridge City Council, okay? I have been asked, there was a lot of questions to me directly. How would I handle the new council? There was, how would I handle the new council? Now, FetcherNews.com, some people get confused with this show. And what they get confused is this is an opinion show. I give my opinion of things. I do news. I talk about topics. But, you know, my opinion comes out in the show. But FetcherNews.com, if you go there and you click on Fannin County, you read the stories about the Board of Assessors, you read the stories about the Board of Education, you read the story about Blue Ridge City Council, McKaysville, the Water Authority, the list goes on. And you can, I'll look you right in the camera, you can send me a message anytime, chief@FetcherNews.com. If you go to FetcherNews.com, Fannin County, and you do not find clear news, you tell me that. Send it to me. Now, I was asked last year, how would I handle the new council? So I thought about this because I said, you know what? Agree or disagree. One thing I will tell you, the previous council in 2017, all right, there was nothing at any time personal with the members. And I have the video. It was always about their votes or always about what was happening in the city. And being redundant here, how would I handle this year? So I thought about it when I got the special called meeting notice for Blue Ridge City Council. I said, now wait a minute. If I'm going to come on here in the mornings and I'm going to ask you to listen and I'm going to say that I'm going to cover things, then I cannot have any difference in 2018, my outlook of the council in 2018 that I did in 2017. So my number one complaint about today, there are times you have a special called meeting. And everybody that knows me knows this is a, what do they call it, a pet peeve of mine. Everybody knows that. This is not new. Everybody knows how I feel about a special called meeting. Everybody knows that I feel myself, special called meetings should be just for that. You have something of urgency, okay? Urgency to call a special meeting. Why? Because I'm always on the citizen's side. Oh, hell, I get accused of friendships. I get accused of looking one way and not the other. But what you cannot say is that I don't read audit reports, because I do. Because some of the things that you're upset with me about concerning some people, it's in an audit report that a city or a county paid a lot of money to get. You can't say that I write these things, they're there. But a special called meeting should have something urgent. That's my opinion. Urgent. Because why? The citizens should never have the opportunity to attend a meeting taken from them due to their schedule and having to work. Now apathy, right? Is that way it's pronounced, apathy? I can't do nothing about it. I go to meetings in counties and they discuss multi-million-dollar budgets, multi-million-dollar purchase, and there's 3 people there. I go to meetings in counties and cities and they're going to raise a fee or implement a fee, and there's 3 people there. But if there's only 3 or 53, the opportunity for citizens to attend, to hear the business of their local community, should always be first and foremost. Now, so I'm not going to change. I got to thinking when I saw this special called meeting, I said, okay, maybe there is something of urgency. So today at 1 o'clock, when people should be working, they're going to have a prayer and pledge of allegiance, good. Council meeting rules and procedures, they always do that. Approval of minutes from previous meeting, okay? They're going to approve the minutes because you're supposed to, every time you have an official meeting, you're supposed to approve the last meeting minutes, so we'll go with that. Trackside lane change order, okay? Maybe we may hear something of urgency on trackside lane, a change order that cannot wait, maybe cannot wait till the other meeting. Executive session, if needed. Personnel, okay? Maybe they have some personnel issues. Maybe there is. But the one thing on here is alcohol ordinance amendment, first reading. Now, let me tell you why. I know where the hell this is going to go, damn it. I know exactly where the hell this is going to go. But let me tell you why. Because there was a first reading, and I have the damn video, so I always have to be careful when I come and do the show, because I have to always own up to the damn video, right? So I have the video of last year, let's just say 3-hour parking. First reading. It doesn't matter what it is, first reading. I came on this show and I took first reading to task. And I said, anytime there's an ordinance change, okay, there should never be a first reading on a special called meeting agenda. Now, I can't change that, or I'm not who the hell I come in here and say I am. And I don't understand what the hell I just said. But that I can't. If I come in here and I look at this agenda and I gloss over it, now I'm not saying they're doing anything bad. I don't know. But if I gloss over the agenda and I say first reading, special called meeting, I think to myself, no. You do not do a first reading of any ordinance at a special called meeting. Here's why. Okay? Because you have a first reading, you have a second reading, and then you have a vote. Okay? You may want to object. Now, how many of you, because I don't. Now, if Jason Beck, which covers if Jason Beck, which covers the city of Blue Ridge, if they have, if he has a copy of it, I don't. But I don't have the alcohol ordinance amendment. I don't have it. I don't know if it's been made public. Now, I did receive an email, and I'm going to read the email, and I'm not going to mention the name, and I'm just going to say this is a source that sent me this email. Agenda item number 5, alcohol ordinance amendment. One of the changes proposed will be, this is what I understand, one of the changes proposed will be removing the prohibition, that's a big word for me, removing the prohibition on a council member having an interest in a local which is licensed by the city to sell alcohol by imposing certain ethical restrictions prohibiting conflict of interest. Okay? And this viewer that sent this is the, I don't know 100%, but this viewer that sent this said, this proposed change troubles me greatly and should raise red flags for everyone. Although some of the other proposed changes are troubling, I do not believe they are a big deal. Okay? Now, all I'm saying is, I just want to make sure that when it comes to special called meetings and how I feel about them, which you know, I don't think you do a first reading at a special called meeting. I have been on this show. You call it a rant, you call it yelling, you call it taking the former members to task. But if I'm going to come on, I just don't think you do a first reading. I think this first reading of any ordinance at any time that gets amended in a city, any charter that gets changed, anything that happens needs to be at night at a regular called meeting. I'm not looking in the camera and telling you that this is a bad thing, but I'm not okay with it. Personnel. I, for one, don't know what they're going to do. They always put, everybody's worked up over executive session personnel, and we all know that at this time, the Blue Ridge City Council has named Johnny Searcy the interim chief of police, and we are not aware what or if there's any intention of any actions today where that position is concerned. So that's just wanted to go there. Just wanted to go there. Obviously, I probably upset a bunch of you. But then again, why should I change now? Fannin County school administrators respond to parents' concern. All right? Back to the Blue Ridge City Council. We will have somebody there to video today at 1 o'clock. We will have our reporter there. And if anything takes place that, you know, you need to know or see, we'll, as always, post the videos. Okay? Now, last month, or at the last, whenever we can, did anybody get that to Natalie? Because whenever she can, I need that answer on my question, and whenever I can get that text to me or forward it to me, I'd appreciate it. Last month at the Blue Ridge Board of Education meeting, okay, there was a lot of talk. Parents, particularly, came out in public. Let me explain something else. I know you don't like it when I explain things, you know, because I don't know how it comes across. I'm not trying to come across a certain way. But some people don't realize that when you gavel in a meeting and you open it up and say, open the meeting, and then you make a motion to close the meeting, everything in that space is public. If parents get up and talk, it's public. It's part of the record at the meeting. Whatever the board says is part of the record. So at this meeting, Donnie Kendall and several other, we have an article there. There is an article on FetcherNews.com that happened at the Fannin County on January 11th. On January 11th, there was an article FetcherNews.com. You can look it up. Parents angered over current state of Fannin County athletics. Okay. Donnie Kendall was one of the parents that stood up and talked, and there were several there. And there was a discussion, and let me just put this together, okay? Kendall spoke directly of Assistant Principal and Athletic Director of the Fannin County High School, Dr. Scott Ramsey. We have an athletic director, this is a quote, who makes $93,000 to run these programs. Now, I don't want to, I think the number is more like $95,000, okay? More like 95, but he makes 93, this is Mr. Kendall's quote, $93,000 to run these programs, whose job undoubtedly ends at 4:30, so he can go to his second job, while different administrators are asked to cover for him at other sporting events on a regular basis. Now, that is Kendall's comment, and there were several comments that were made that night at the Board of Education concerning parents angered over the current state of the Fannin County High School athletics. So we were not able to, fetchyournews.com, and this is where you always get to learn a little bit of how we run the place here and how we do things. We were not able to get Dr. Ramsey's response, and we were not able to get Dr. Ramsey's response and that night, or Dr. Gwatney. Put up Dr. Gwatney. Now, Dr. Gwatney is the superintendent of schools. I got a picture of him. He's the superintendent of schools of Fannin County, and our company policy is if you make comments or things are said, we always give people an opportunity to respond. So Natalie Kissel, our writer there, she scheduled a meeting to get the responses. So if you're interested in this, okay, Fannin County School Administration responds to parents' concern. That is the article that went out last night. And what we did is we sat down and we had a discussion with Dr. Gwatney there, the superintendent of schools. We also in the meeting at Fannin County Curriculum, I gotta say that, curriculum, I'm just proud I can say that. Director Robert Inslee was in the meeting, and also Fannin County Athletic Director and Fannin County High School Assistant Principal, Dr. Scott Ramsey. So there was an interview with those three individuals, and when you read that, you need to, there's a link there, you need to read Fannin County Athletics Department at the January 11th board meeting article and understand this is their response. So for those of you out there wondering how they felt about that meeting or what their comments are concerning parents at the last Board of Education meeting, you can read that there. Now, one other subject in Fannin County that is a board member? Okay. So one of the subjects in Fannin County right now, and you can go on fetchyournews.com, Fannin County, click on news. That's all you got to do is click on news. Now, the other night, and the video will be up today, okay? The video will be up today. And so at the Fannin County Board of Assessors, some of you have a lot of interest. Now, vehicle needs discussed at the Fannin County Board of Assessors. That's an article there. Chief Appraiser Don Cochran told board members Friday that Board of Commissioner Chairman Stan Helton had recently asked Director of Public Works Zach Ratcliffe to perform a thorough inspection of the vehicles in the assessor fleet. So the assessor fleet, okay, the tax assessor fleet, currently, the head of Public Works, Zach Ratcliffe, did an inspection, and take Dr. Gwatney's picture down, please. And he did an inspection, and several of them failed the inspection, and the tax assessor office in Fannin County feel they need new equipment, new vehicles to go out and assess your property to send you a tax bill. Now, that being said, they took that argument, I'm going to say argument, my words, they took that argument to the Board of Commissioners this past Tuesday night, wanting new vehicles, okay? And this is in the, and so the Board of Tax Assessors, they're making their argument that they need new vehicles, okay? And during this, and it's in the video, there was a reference to the tax assessor office in Gilmer County. And I don't know this individual, so I'm going to be nice about it. And I would hope he may come to the next meeting and on video make an apology. But a board member by the name of Troy Jr., not Junior, Junior, Troy Jr., made several references calling Gilmer County a bunch of clowns. Now, I'm going to say bunch of clowns. You got to see the video, or they are clowns. Several times, to where I think even the chairman, Mr. Helton, made reference to maybe, hey, don't say that. That's not a quote. You watch the video. So they want new vehicles. They want new vehicles, and he is a board member, and he referred to Gilmer as clowns. And I just think all I'm asking is, when you are discussing things as a board member to your board of commission, I think clowns is I don't think it's necessary for your neighboring county to be called clowns. We are following that up right now. We're following up their need for vehicles and what they plan to do. Ultimately, Cochran would speak to Ratcliffe about possibly the cost of repairing the trucks, but the Board of Assessors are drafted a presentation, all right, and they want new Jeep Wranglers. They want new Jeep Wranglers to come out and assess your property. There'll be more of that on Fetcher News later today, another story. Okay, I'm your host, BKP. We're going to stop at 9:22. I want to do some more national news before we leave. And also, I asked you earlier, are you prepared in rural Georgia to participate in funding mass transit for the Atlanta metropolitan area? And maybe we got Amazon HQ2. Oh, take us to break.